Went great, really great.
And General James Mattis, who's being
He is the real deal.
But like The Apprentice, that's the consensus here, but there's been a lot of meetings this weekend. When do we think he might make an announcement about more appointees, Mary?
Well, Trump says he's been seeing some tremendous talent come through the door and that he might be nearing some more announcements, possibly even today. Paula and Dan.
All right, Mary, thank you.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Fed confident of need for rate hikes on eve of Trump win, minute shows. Federal Reserve's pacemakers appeared confident on the eve of the U.S. presidential election that the economic was strengthening enough to warrant interest rates increase soon, minute from the Fed's November 1st to the 2nd meeting showed. Hillary Clinton's lead in popular vote near 2 million. Let's take a listen to this video from CNN.
In Wisconsin, with almost 3 million votes cast, Donald Trump edged Hillary Clinton by less than 28,000. In Pennsylvania, out of almost 6 million votes, his advantage was 60,000. And the count in Michigan still remains too close for CNN to call the race. But now some political activists say in counties using electronic voting, Hillary Clinton appears to have mysteriously underperformed compared to areas with paper ballots by as much as 7%, according to what they told top Clinton aides in a call urging an official review. They've not released their analysis nor provided proof of hacking, but that margin could have tipped Wisconsin, and if the others went her way too, she would have won. So who's leading the charge?
Our democracy is under attack.
John Bonifaz is a Democratic activist who ran for office a few years ago.
This is a story of where the Democratic Party needs to be.
He's a big proponent of voting rights, and he tried to get President Bush impeached over the Iraq War.
The United States House of Representatives has a constitutional duty to investigate fully and comprehensively.
But at the University of Michigan, the chief computer scientist behind the discovery of these alleged voting oddities seems to be on a different page. J. Alex Halderman is concerned about the risk of American elections being hacked. He talked about it on C-SPAN before this vote.
A realistic attack on the election is probably going to be homing in on whichever states end up having the closest margin.
But he wants an investigation because he thinks any questions about voting security ought to be addressed. Not because he's convinced it would necessarily change the result, nor prove anyone tried to rig the vote. He's posted online, quote, "Were this year's deviations from pre-election polls the result of a cyber attack? Probably not. I believe the most likely explanation is that the polls were systematically wrong." As for election officials, some certainly went into the balloting pretty confident.
I could set one of these machines in the middle of Red Square in Moscow, and the Russians couldn't hack into it.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Holiday high security. Let's take a listen to this video from ABC News.
And here in New York City tonight, preparations for the Thanksgiving Day parade are kicking into high gear. And while the balloons are being inflated, the security is rolling in. ABC's Gio Benitez is along the parade route tonight.
It's the Big Apple's moment to shine, and tonight authorities aren't taking any chances, blocking traffic through the parade's 2.5-mile route. New York City now adding dozens of these sanitation trucks filled with sand to help prevent an attack like the one in Nice, France. That driver of a speeding truck killing 86 in July. Just days ago, police in New York arresting this man who prosecutors say talked of attacking Times Square. Police even visiting 135 truck rental locations, reminding employees to report anything suspicious.
If you see something that doesn't look right to you, a way a truck's parked, somebody's just acting odd, tell someone.
Also standing ready, a battalion-sized contingent of 3,000 officers, many with heavy weapons, to protect the millions along the route. And despite the increased security, so many people are still looking forward to this Thanksgiving tradition. In fact, you can see all of these families already lining up. to watch these balloons take shape. Byron.
Gio, thank you.
Okay, and there you go on that report. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Thanksgiving and have a great Thursday. Bye, everyone.